Welcome to the first ever e-mobility conference organized by the Energy Quest Foundation, dubbed ERA 2024.
EV Revolution Africa Conference, that is ERA, is a gathering that seeks to actualize the potential of a new burgeoning industry, the green mobility sector.
You have the opportunity to ride an electric bus. What are your initial thoughts?
It's very good. First time seeing something like this.
Yeah.
I never thought we have an electric vehicle in Ghana here, so I came here.
Assurance and collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, all too soon we're drawing close to the end of this experience.
A very good morning to us all. So good morning to our guests of honors, to our partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Kweku A, Energy Quest Foundation and its partners, I'm honored to welcome you to the inaugural EV Revolution Africa e-mobility conference, exhibition and EV experience here in Accra. Energy Quest Foundation was established with a vision to demystify the energy sector in Ghana and beyond, achieving its goals through projects focused on energy capacity building, women in energy, energy career seminars, among many others. Our commitment to the global energy transition birthed the ERA e-mobility conference initiative, which is dedicated to advancing and propelling growth of the electric vehicle industry across the continent. ERA serves as a vital platform for collaboration among industry players, investors, financiers, policymakers, governments, and regulators, all contributing to a sustainable transportation through electric vehicles. I extend sincere gratitude to the Ministry of Energy, Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, and the United Nations above all, Fidelity Bank, for making this initiative a reality. The EV Revolution Africa Conference, that is ERA, is a gathering that seeks to actualize the potential of a new burgeoning industry, the green mobility sector. The gathering brings together innovators, policymakers, investors, and enthusiasts to explore the vast potential of electric mobility under the theme, The New Era, Innovation and Sustainability. Today, we stand at a key moment in history. The global shift towards electric vehicles is undeniable and is driven by the urgent need to reduce carbon emissions and combat climate change. Africa, with its abundant resources, stands at the forefront of this revolution, and Ghana, our esteemed nation, plays a central role in this journey. If truly Africa will have the youngest and largest workforce in the world by 2035, and we are marked with so much potential, how can this potential be realized? Because unrealized potential is nothing. Potential requires opportunity, and this we need to harness ourselves. The world is ready for Africa, and are we ready to actualize our own potential using the resources available to us? We are excited about the new industry that contributes to Africa's just energy transition, providing sustainable support solutions and transport solutions, and generating carbon mitigation impacts. Accra, now the host city of this annual event, will serve as a hub for showcasing cutting-edge advancements in electric vehicles, charging infrastructure, and sustainable technologies. The ERA e-Mobility Conference and Exhibition aims to foster collaboration, drive innovation, and unlock investment opportunities essential for steering our continent towards a greener and more prosperous future, creating opportunities for economic development and environmental stewardship. Make time to visit the exhibition next door, the test truck outside, and the Green Garage, where very engaging workshops will be held throughout today and tomorrow as well. Thank you, and I wish you all a productive and inspiring conference. You're welcome.
We're grateful to you, Madam Lesley Arthur, the CEO of Kweku A and founder of the Energy Quest Foundation, our convener for this summit. Ladies and gentlemen, we're dwelling on a very fascinating theme. We're talking about the new era dubbed innovation and sustainability. Here to speak to us as our keynote speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a champion of innovation, an electrical engineer by training who has enjoyed a very illustrious career with notable organizations around the world, notable among them ITT and GE. We're talking Aluminium and Chemical Corporation, ALCO. He's been managing director for strategic planning and new business for Goldfields. He's also been chief executive for the Volta River Authority and most recently executive vice president and managing director of Talu Oil PLC UK and Talu Ghana Limited. He currently serves as the board chair of the UBA Ghana and Multimedia Group Limited, the non-profit sports for development organization Play Soccer Ghana, which he co-founded in 1999. He has been the past board chair of Stanbic Bank, Ghana Volta River Authority, and a board member of several energy and mining organizations across Africa. Here to expand on our theme, ladies and gentlemen, the new era, innovation and sustainability. Make welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Kweku Awotwi.
Thank you, Jerry, and good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today, to be part of this first EV Mobility Conference. And I want to commend Lesley and her team for putting this together. It's truly a first, and I think all of you who are here should be proud and excited to be here. I'm excited to be here, and hopefully you are as well. And why are you here? Let me tell you the reasons why I'm excited to be here. We are part of an exciting, new, growing, transformative industry. And there's nothing like that anywhere today, perhaps with the exception of AI. But the energy transition is real, and it is touching every country, every single border around the world. And the EV mobility part of that is a big part of what we here in Ghana and Africa can do. What is interesting about that is that we are at the ground floor of this revolution. We have just started. When you look around the world, the market for EVs is over $500 billion, and it's growing at 20% a year or thereabouts. Last year it was 400 billion, and in 10 years it'll be 1.5 trillion. What's interesting about that is Ghana and Africa are barely scratching that surface. And the investment in the EV mobility space is growing at about 10% a year. And Africa worldwide, our investment is about 11 billion compared to 500 billion. We are about 3% of that space. What does that mean to you? What it means to me is that there is a lot of room to grow. We are just at the beginning of this revolution. And those of you who are active in it, whether you are entrepreneurs, whether you are financiers, whether you are policymakers, this is a real opportunity for you all. What is also exciting for me about the EV revolution is that it's a young person's game. It requires creativity, requires innovation. It speaks to the needs of our people. As you know, Africa has some of the youngest demographic around the world. Over 50% of the population is under 30 or thereabouts. And we are just in that space beginning to grow. Many of us can't afford our own homes and cars. And the EV mobility speaks to how we address those needs. I remember watching Jeff Bezos of Amazon speak about why he started Amazon. And he said he looked at the industry, the internet, and it was growing at about 1,000% a year. We may not be growing at 1,000% a year, but I can tell you that there are very few industries that are growing at over 20% a year. And those of you who are in it, I think you're in a good space. The other thing I would say to those of us assembled here is that, Africa is sadly often late to the game, but we can catch up on that. And when we talk about the EV revolution, we talk about being part of the supply chain. What's interesting about that is that Africa has over 20% of the minerals needed to be part of that supply chain. And when you look at a map of Africa, the countries today who can produce lithium or cobalt or manganese or graphite, there are not that many. Ghana happens to be about to produce lithium. DRC produces most of the world's cobalt. South Africa produces vanadium, manganese, Kenya and Tanzania graphite. These are places where we have the natural resource and we have the opportunity to take advantage of it, to build on it, to create value from it. And do we really want to be left out of this revolution? Do we really want other people to take control? Already, China is ahead of everybody else. What's also interesting for those of you in this room is that there's a very interesting geopolitical set of drivers going on. We have China, as many of you know, who actually control 80 to 90% of the processing of these critical minerals for the EV revolution. And countries like the US are desperate to catch up. So they are looking for other sources of lithium and manganese and graphite. So as we think of solutions for our youth, whether it's in bicycles or public transportation, which is really the topic of this conversation, we also have the raw materials right here to develop those opportunities. We have a fast-growing, the fastest-growing demographic in the world. Many of you know that by 2050, Africa will have about 1.5 billion people plus, and they will all need EV mobility solutions. So those of you who are here, you are at the basement, you are at the ground up. And if you think through the opportunities you have, there are many. There are also challenges. And when you are at the ground up or when we are starting off, you realize that there are many things that you'll be doing that you will be the first to do. So we read of companies like who are the first to make electric bicycles or motorized bicycles. But there are a few other companies who are manufacturing, who are looking at public transport. I bet you that all of those companies have had a very hard time to set up their businesses because the regulation is not in place. There's not enough coordination among our government sectors. There's not enough of a fiscal regime to help those companies. And even our banks, of which one I'm a chairman, are not aggressively looking at these as opportunities to invest and make money from. I would bet you that you go to your typical financier and they would think of all the different roadblocks that impede them from having a successful business. But the good news is that there are some very hardy entrepreneurs out there, typically young folk, who have started this industry. And for you here, I leave you with 4 things. It's an opportunity to create and innovate. It's very importantly an opportunity to collaborate, because if we don't collaborate, it'll be very difficult to succeed. Whether it's collaborating with fellow entrepreneurs, whether it's collaborating with outside investors, it's also a very important opportunity to advocate, because my experience is that the private sector always leads, and we have to drag government along with us. If you are waiting for the government to solve your problem or to tell you what to do, you'll be waiting a very long time. So my final thought as we begin this conference, as we hear from everybody else who comes, those who are part of the supply chain, those of you who are offering these transportation solutions, this is that opportunity to join forces, to create and innovate, but also to advocate and bring our policymakers along to enable this amazing revolution that has started. Thank you very much.